Today I'm joined by family law attorney Alex Phillips. Alex, it's good to be with you.
Good to be with you, Ben.
And tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Sure. Well, I was actually born here in Virginia, Northern Virginia, but I grew up the majority of my time in New York, in Westchester County, about an hour north of New York City, along the Hudson River in a small town called Cortland Manor. One thing that happened in my childhood that's unique to me and my practice is that my own parents are divorced. They got divorced when I was about 5. And I was able to see firsthand kind of the impact that that has from the perspective of a child. What works, what doesn't work for holidays, things like that. And I was able to see 2 great parents co-parent together. And so I'm able to give my own perspective, my own unique advice on situations like that. My dad worked in New York City. He commuted an hour every day. And so even though I was growing up in New York, I knew it wasn't long-term for me. And I was going to find my way back to Virginia.
So when did you begin to move your way south? How did that happen? Back to Virginia?
Well, I graduated from high school and I was looking for options in warmer weather mostly. But my focus was really on Virginia because I still have a lot of extended family here. I love the history of Virginia and everything about it. I looked around at schools in Virginia, but I knew when I stepped foot on the campus at University of Richmond that that was the place for me.
Lucky man. So did you go right through to law school or did you stop and work before law school?
Well, I knew I wanted to go to law school while I was still at University of Richmond, but I wanted to make sure, and I wanted to have some experience going in as well because I thought that would be important afterwards. I left college and I actually worked on a congressional campaign in Virginia Beach, and we were fortunate enough that my boss won that election, and when he decided to go to Washington, D.C., he took me along with him. And so I worked on Capitol Hill for a few years in Washington, D.C. before law school, and then I decided to go to William & Mary.
And how was that for you?
It was great. I love William & Mary. I think it's the perfect place to attend law school because it's absolutely distraction-free, unless you're obsessed with colonial history.
Okay. And so now you're a family law attorney, many years experience. What would you say to that divorced client that's preparing to meet with you for the first time?
Well, I think one of the things that people can do when they're coming to see me for the first time is really prepare their own summary, one-pager, of assets and debts. Take recent bank account statements, mortgage balance statements, things like that, and put it onto one sheet of paper. That way, when you come in, I can guide you through your potential outcomes and what could happen through the process, what a judge might do, and I can give you a better idea of what your life might look like post-divorce. If you don't have that material, that's fine. We can get it along the way. But if you're able to do that prior to coming in, I think it makes the first meeting much more productive.
So a one-page executive summary of assets and debts will really help you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and on the other side of your practice with custody clients, they're preparing to meet with you, they're walking up the stairs to meet with you for the first time. What should they do to prepare their custody case in that first meeting with you?
Well, the first thing that I ask clients when they're coming in for a custody case is what's most important to them with their family. What unique traditions do they have? What time do they like to spend together? And what do they see their schedule looking like in the future? And then once we're able to sort through that, there might be evidence or documents that they can bring in that would help corroborate certain issues in their case. Maybe they have poor communication with the other parent, and so there's text messages or emails that are going to back that up and support that. Maybe there's issues with the child at school and their school records, daycare, etc. So those are all things that would be helpful to bring in if you have a custody or visitation case.
So the unique facts, the stories, the text messages, the emails, all of that will help you in that first meeting?
Absolutely. You want to see as much as possible in that first meeting so that I can give you the best counsel on what the outcome might be. I can tell you what's going to be important to a judge, what's not. And so I can help you sort through building your own case, essentially.
Is it difficult being a family law attorney with this as your principal practice area? How do you manage the stress and keep balance in your own life?
Well, it can be difficult, but it's not always difficult. I think one of the unique things about family law is that, while you're dealing with people at the worst points in their lives, by the end of the process, you're hoping they're in a much better place, and you're able to see that transition firsthand. So a lot of times, family law is rewarding. You have a spouse comes in that's been emotionally abused for years by their other spouse, and by the end of the divorce, they walk out a confident person. They know what their plan is going forward, and watching them build themselves back up like that can be incredibly rewarding. for those difficult cases where you got two great parents that just both want to spend as much time as possible with their children, well, those can be very hard. And I'm lucky that I have my own family to go home to at the end of the day that helps me through those difficult times.
Big picture for family law clients facing this incredible transition, what advice do you give them in the macro level, the big picture level, for family law clients facing divorce or custody actions? How should they handle that transition?
Well, I think what they want to keep in mind is focus on your goals for the outcome. Don't get caught up in the day-to-day where you can have nasty text messages or emails or things like that that are hurtful. Those things are important and they might be significant to your case, but don't let those bog you down because there's a lot of emotional drain throughout the process already. Keep your focus on the goals, your goals, the outcome, and allow me to sort through some of those day-to-day stressors. That's what I see my role as. I'm here to help guide people through the process and make it as easy for them as possible. So trust me as your attorney to help you get to that goal. I'll guide you through step by step, day by day, and then hopefully we have that outcome that you wanted at the end of your case.
All right, well, attorney, counselor at law, and life coach, attorney Alex Phillips.
Thanks.
Thank you.